clusters. Hello, and welcome back to another version of the Noosh vlog, where I work on stuff in my studio and show you what I'm doing. This week I'm going to be working on two different t-shirt blocks. One is the Nerdy Octopus t-shirt block that I'm replacing because the first Nerdy Octopus t-shirt block just has seen so much use. And the second is the Turtle King block that I started sketching at the end of last week. So first I need to finish sketching the Turtle King block. This week I also want to talk about how I design t-shirt blocks and what's important to me when I'm working on a woodcut and designing a woodcut and the thought that goes into that process. And I also possibly want to try something to add to the A Piece of Noosh History series that I'm working on. That started with me carving the back of my old desk chair, but this time it might involve old t-shirt blocks. I've got this idea of possibly framing a t-shirt block and selling the original carved block, which some people have asked about, but putting it into frame and doing something to it so it cannot be used to print more t-shirts. So that is my thoughts. That is this week. That's what I'm going to be working on. And I also have a couple commissions and things that I have to kind of do on the side. But other than that, that's what you've got in store for you this week. So let me finish sketching this Turtle King block that I've been working on, and we'll start getting ready for everything else. All right, let's start sketching. I also want to show you this new plant that I got. It is called a sensitive plant, and there's a scientific name for it, which I'll throw up on the screen here. But this is a sensitive plant. That's the name that the plant store had it as. And it's cool because when you touch it, the leaves are sensitive and they'll start to close up. Well, that one wasn't as great. Let's see. See, look, they close up. And at night, it takes a nap. It sleeps. And also, if I touch it, I think if I touch it here. No, maybe here. Oh yeah, it collapses. And then it'll pop back up soon. And I'll show you that. I'll do a time lapse there. Starting now. So the turtle. When I design a block, I have a handful of things that are important to me. I've got, I focus on line, value, texture, shapes, expressions. I want to add little areas of interest based on my mark making, and I want to create a sea of detail. Because I had one customer who was looking at my work at a festival once, and he referred to my work as a sea of detail, and I liked how he said that, and I liked what that really meant, because my work is based, when I create my woodcuts, I am taking little bits of wood away at a time, just little chunks, thousands of little scoopies of mark making, little marks here and there to create value in the work. And every little mark that I make is one little mark in the sea of detail that I'm trying to create the whole finished piece. I try not to take out large areas of white at a time. Sometimes it is necessary, but it's not necessary all the time. I like to keep little mark-making evidences of the process whenever I can. And I also like to, I have this theory that I work on. It's like a 65-35 split. I either want it to be 65% black or 65% removed wood, white, or whatever color I'm going to put behind it. Because when you have it closer to 50-50, if you have it 50-50 white, 50-50 black, it's just kind of gray. So in the whole piece, and my pieces tend to be 65% removed because I deal with a lot of line work. So let's talk about this turtle specifically. You can see expression. I've got his expression kind of looking no, because he found an object and I wanted it to portray that he didn't really know what he had, and it's a very expensive king's crown. So I wanted it to kind of look like he doesn't really care. He just picked it up along his travels. I didn't know what he had, but he's got something cool. I like repetition. So I'm adding like these little circles here that is repeating marks, and those circles kind of look like the gems that are in there, and then I've got them on the feet too. And I've also got these lines that go everywhere. It's just the repeating mark that I make. And it also gives me areas to create value because you've got the areas that are solid black right here. And then you've got the areas that'll be solid white right here. And then everything else, like down in here and along the edge of the neck there, will be going from dark to light. So it'll be going from dark along here to light as you get closer to the front there. Same thing here, dark around here, light as you get closer to there. So that's one of the theories that I work with is just my mark making to create value. When I design a thing, though, I do want to have areas of white and areas of black, because once, like I said before, if you've got everything that kind of looks gray, it's not super interesting. Your eye doesn't really know what to focus on. Your eye doesn't move around. And I got an example that I can show you what I mean by that. All right, so I'm sitting on my desk. I've got a black area all drawn out, because in reality, every piece that I start with starts with being 100% black. If I were to ink it before I started carving into it, it would look like that. So every mark that I make removes some of that black. Go back. So I want you to think of this, what I'm going to describe here as, I want you to think of this as a night sky. So I'm going to draw stars into it. Now, if I were to draw a star every, 6 inches and have it just repeat like this, that's not a night sky. That is just a pattern. I could make them look more like stars by going like this, but if I did this everywhere, that's not a night sky. That's just a pattern. That is black and that is white. And when you take a step back from it, that black and white becomes gray. It becomes boring. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you get the picture. That's a pattern. That turns into gray. That's not super interesting. But I go back to a black sky, and if I want to turn that into a convincing night sky, everything that I do, I'm going to do in clusters. Maybe there's a lone star over there, it's big. Maybe there's a really big star here. A couple around it. All different shapes and sizes. And that's just more of a interesting night sky. Things are different shapes. Maybe I've got an actual star there. A couple that are star-shaped to throw in. Some little squiggles, those little galaxies. Now we're getting interesting. This area right here, I haven't done anything to. It's all black basically right in this area. But that's important because I've got areas that have a lot of stars in it and then areas that don't have any stars. So you can see how this is getting more interesting. But I stop here. If I continue and I put stars everywhere, fill in all the areas, we're back to being gray. Nothing's interesting. That's more interesting, that's more convincing than that. That is just a solid blanket of gray. I don't have any one area to like really focus on. It's just kind of a all over pattern. Where that, your eye can kind of move around a little bit more. There's areas of 100% black. There's large areas of white right there. There's bigger stars, there's littler stars. It's all, you got everything. Maybe we'll add a really big one right here. Yeah, that's too much in line right there. But you get what I'm saying. This is the concept that I mean where you want a 65-35. With this, you've got most of it, it's 65% black and 35% white carved away. With my line work, it tends to be a little bit different than that. So hopefully that did a pretty good job of explaining what I meant by 65-35 split. You want varying amounts of everything. If you have 50-50 of anything, the whole thing is going to look gray and uninteresting. So you want everything to be either 65 light, 65 dark, 65% bright colors, 35% dull colors, muted colors. You want varying textures. You want varying shapes, line weight. There's so many things that you can play with. Things going in one direction versus another direction, or you can, with the last piece that I did the salmon rung. I had all of, which is right there. You see most of the waves are going this way, and then the fish are coming this way. So it creates a cross action there. A lot of different things that you could work with, but whatever you choose to work with, vary it up. And if you have it equally fighting one another, they're going to be equally fighting one another, clashing. But if you have one that's stronger, that's going to be more interesting. And then the 35% is going to be the areas of interest and the interesting parts of your piece. So I hope that makes sense. It's kind of an abstract concept, but it's kind of a rule that I go by. I want to have something that your eye can go towards. All rules are meant to be broken. I'm sure that you could point to a piece of my work that doesn't really follow that. One image that comes to mind is my doodle block image, where it's 43 little doodles carved all over the doodle block. And when you kind of take a step back from it, the whole thing is gray, but then you step up close to it, you can see each individually carved little animal, and that's where the interests come in. But that probably breaks the rule of this piece that I'm talking about, because it is a pattern piece. And that is the point of that. All right, enough talking for now. Hopefully, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I will address them in a later video. But I'm gonna go get both of these drawn out onto some wood so I can start carving this week. I have both these new t-shirt blocks all drawn out onto the board. The next thing I do, obviously, is, and say it with me, guys, I need to start carving. Let's start carving. Just like that, I am finished with the Turtle King. I made a couple choices as I was carving it that I didn't intend to make, but you know, while you're carving, you can make choices. These circles right here, I intended to carve them out with different lines inside, but I decided to leave them as is to add more contrast and also help me from getting from dark on one side to light on another as I was talking, to go from black to gray, or black to gray to white. And then same thing is happening here, just not as subtle. It's mainly two values. You've got gray and white, no black. And then in areas like this and on the shell, on this side of the shell, I guess, segment, I took out more of the little spirally areas, where on this side I did little tiny marks to give the appearance of going from white to gray as well. But these are done. Same thing you can see here. It goes from black to gray to lighter gray until it hits white right there. And that's just from varying the size and the frequency and the depth of all the mark making that I was doing. And I think it's quite successful there. But the Turtle King piece is done. I just want to point out a couple of those areas where line and value and mark making and everything comes together to make what I believe, at least, to be a successful design. Believe it or not, it is Thursday now, and I've got the Turtle King piece all carved and ready to print. I've got a couple t-shirts in the bucket that I need to print, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of those right now. And then I have a couple commission pieces that I got to take care of as well. So that is what I'm going to be doing for the next, probably the rest of today. It's possible that this is the last thing you see from me. I'm going to try to carve a little bit on that nerdy octopus as well. Fingers crossed I can get doing that. Oh, let me show you something else too. I think I mentioned this before, but I've got the bones to another Noosh, part of Noosh history piece of where I mount my old block to a piece of wood and frame it like so. I'm still kind of working out the ideas on how to frame that to the wood. I got a couple ideas. But I want to cancel the block. So in printmaking, when an edition is finished, the artist will typically cancel the block, and that means they'll keep the block, but they will destroy it in a way where it can't print the same way again. So sometimes all that is putting a let's see, I would carve a mark way up. So it will never print the same. For this one, I think I'm going to cut out part of it on the scroll saw and then cut a second part out and just remove a little bit, remove a sliver of it, and then mount it on the block like that, mount it in the frame like that. And here's something kind of funny in printmaking world too. It became traditional to cancel the block way back when, and not every artist wanted to cancel the block, but when you finish the edition, it was expected of you to cancel the block. So what some artists would do is they would take a piece of string and they would put it on the block and they would print it as the canceled block, so it looked like they altered the block so it wouldn't print the same, because the string would pull right off and it would print white underneath that block right there. And that's how they would cancel the block. But I'm actually going to cancel this block. I'm going to cut it up and mount it onto that frame and be done with it. But before I do any of that, I got to print those t-shirts. It's Friday now. Printed shirts yesterday. Worked on some commissions yesterday. And now it's Friday. And this morning, I went up to Dahlonega, which is a mountain town here in Georgia. And I dropped off some work for a new space up there, a new gallery. It's the same gallery space that I worked on doing some t-shirt design for. And you see, look, that's the t-shirt I made for them right there. I also took that t-shirt design and turned that into a sticker, which you can see right there too. Marty, you rubbing all over the camera? So I dropped off some work there. I took all day. Dahlonega is about an hour and a half away from where I live. Come here, girl. No? Okay. Dahlonega is about an hour and a half away from where I live, so it was, took the bulk of my day. Crittercraft, they make little stuffed cute things. I grabbed this mushroom as a gift for my mom. I think she will enjoy it, so I grabbed this. They also had a really cool like T-Rex and a lot of other stuff. Look, more. And there's another artist that's in this space. His name is Jeffrey Lerner, and there's his stuff right there. And my stuff is now there as well. So if you're in the Dahlonega area, I do have a couple pieces up, and I will be bringing more stuff there in the future. But that is what I brought to Dahlonega today and hung that up. So that was my day in the life of an artist. That was it. But, you know, I'm running out of daylight here today. I've got a couple other things I need to work on. So this is it. This is the end of the vlog. So check out how cute this little mushroom is. All handmade. It's got beads in the bottom of it so it sits nice. Won't topple over. There it goes. And it's all plushy. Buttons on the top. Tie-dye. Real soft. Real nice. So anyways, that's the end of the vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed this week. And I will see y'all later. Notice I didn't say next week. I'm going to be taking a week off next week. So, but I will have a video for you. It just won't be a full vlog form video. So I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. All right. Thanks. Bye. Marty, come here. Do you want to say bye? Thanks. Bye.